it is time to let Tabletop TBR pick my to be read books for the month of June. And if you don't know, TBR stands for to be read, so those are the books that I plan to read throughout the month. If it's anything like the last couple of months, we are in for a wild ride, so let's just jump right into it and see what shenanigans we have in store. First up, let's go through the points from last month. We ended up getting 1 board point as we were playing, and throughout the month I ended up reading 5,412 pages, which equals 5 points. All right, so we got 1 point each for completing these prompts, so that's 4 points. In addition to the prompt points for these two, both of these have a +1 bonus point, different culture for today, tonight, and tomorrow, and a book that has red in the cover for Fire with Fire. So that's an additional 4 points, bringing us up to 8. Then I have 2 more prompt books that have +2 bonus cards, so 3 points each. A book with 500 pages for The Jasmine Throne, and it's worth more for Tahira in Bloom. So that is an additional 6 points, bringing us to a total of 14 card points. In addition, I ended up reading 2 books that are sequels, so I get 1 point for each for our bonus points. And I did not finish any classics, nonfiction, or poetry books, so that is it for the bonus points. Unfortunately, I have 3 books that I was not able to finish this month, so they will roll over to next month. And I have 1 bonus point card for sci-fi that I will have to forfeit and put back in the deck. That means we have a total of 22 milestone points. And since we're only 1 point away from completing the board, that means we'll be getting some additional milestone points. Woo, woo, woo. And then getting 21 spaces into our next board. That does mean that we have got 5 of the bonus card prompts, so we get to draw 5 more bonus cards. First one is draw 2, keep 1. We will use this for next month. Next one is it's worth more. I have to use that this month. Then we have a let's re-roll this. This will go into next month's game. 1 bonus point for reading a historical book. And lastly, a bonus point for reading a book by a new author. That means we get 10 milestone points for completing our game point tracker. And as I mentioned previously, I am going to be starting a book buying ban, which means that I will be using tokens to buy new books outside of any special edition boxes and things like that that I do get. I wanted to start with 5 tokens, and then every board that I complete, I will get an additional 2. Since we have completed one of these, I will get 2 additional tokens, bringing me up to 7 tokens, in addition to the 10 milestone points for completing one of these. And I ended up reading 11 books throughout the month, which means our total points for the month is 43 points. All right, and as usual, if you want to play along, I do have a link down below to the print and play version of the game if you would like to join me. Now, let's see how we do this month. So first off, we're gonna pick our 5 bonus cards off the top. I am going to try and use these this round because I have been ignoring the actual gameplay bonus cards. So let's see if we can get some action. Let's do this. Okay, so first one, okay, +1 point if it's from a different country. Next, +1 for a romance. Next, +1 if it's from the current year. Another draw 2, keep 1. Okay, and then a +1 for fantasy. All right, let's see what the board has in store for us this time. So we always start with 5 rounds. Let's add that to the score and see if that's how things are gonna stay. Nope. Right off the bat, we have gotten a double, which means that this 5 turns into a 6. We will be rolling 6 times. That's okay. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I do want to move. A move 2 would be bad for me, so maybe I can use my move 1 space so that I can get another bonus card. So I think I'm going to use that. So we'll put this here. I'll move this off to discard it. and we will pick another bonus card. So this one is +1 if I read a thriller. All right, we have to pick. Okay, our first prompt, book no one is talking about. All right, I see you. So for the first prompt, I will give a caveat that this book is relatively old and I don't think I was super active on BookTube at the time. So like maybe there was buzz and hype around it. I just have never seen it personally. And that would be Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes. And I've had this on my shelf for ages. As far as I can tell, this is a Alice in Wonderland reimagining where we focus on the Queen of Hearts. I'm assuming backstory, intrigue, all of that. Says it's not the story of the Wonderland that we know. Obviously, Alice has not fallen down a rabbit hole. There is no all-knowing cat with a taunting smile. Oh, okay, so it sounds like they have changed a good deal of the story in here. Interesting. There's secrets, demands, and the only way to get the truth out of somebody is to make them your prisoner. Okay, so we have some intense settings going on, and it sounds like we're going to be following the future Queen of Hearts before she becomes who she is and before she sees the darkness that turns her into who she is, which is really exciting. I've read Heartless and I love that book, which is another Queen of Hearts kind of backstory. So I'm interested in seeing how this differs. As far as I'm aware, this is the first in a trilogy. I don't know. I'm super excited. I've had this for ages. I really want to read it. So hopefully is a fave. Also, I can use the fantasy +1 bonus point on this. Okay, so our first round complete. That means we have 5 more remaining. A 5 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That is a regular prompt. Okay, a book with an animal companion or pet. Interesting. For our next one, I wasn't sure. I was kind of thinking that I could pick a book that has like something on the cover that makes it seem like that's the case, but I don't know if I have anything that fits that, except that I am currently reading the House Witch series. So I do know that in here, there is a little companion pet. Real cute. So I'm gonna go with the House Witch. I'm holding up book 3. Girl, get your ish together. Hold on, one moment. Okay, thank you, come again. The House Witch book 2. So I ended up reading the first book when I was reading some cozy fantasy books. Really enjoyed it. We have the first book is pretty much about a secret house witch who just got a job at the king's castle to be the cook. And he comes with excellent references and kind of takes over. It's cozy, it's fantasy, it's witchy, it's a fun time. Really excited to continue, and obviously there is a little pet companion in this, which is why I'm choosing it for the prompt. Now, because there is also that kind of romance element, I think I'm also going to use this for my bonus point for romance. Okay, next one. Another double! Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That also means we go up again. So that means I'm gonna end up with 7 prompts total. Let's get this prompt. Another set in a different country prompt. For set in a different country, I struggled. I'm not even gonna lie. I am not entirely sure which books that I have that are set in different countries. I feel like I need to take this out because every time I get it, it's a whole thing. I decided to kind of cheat and go with Emma by Jane Austen because I'm aware that this takes place in England and I have already started reading it. So this will give me a chance to get further along and hopefully finish this up this month. If you don't know, Emma is a classic romance story about a young woman who likes to play matchmaker and is basically causing a little bit of trouble in the process, and through all of the mayhem may or may not find her own romance story, even though that's not what she's looking for. I'm excited to continue. Plus, I really want to try reading more classics and being a little bit of a classic girly, you know, intellectual. I'm going to also use the historical prompt for this. I think maybe that could be considered a cheat because this was a contemporary when it was written, but it's historical now. So you know what? We're going with it. Okay, our next roll, a 1 and a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm gonna use my move 2 spaces, 1, 2, so that I can jump forward here. So let's get rid of that, and then we will draw. Uh-oh. A book that's been on my TBR for more than 1 year. I am a little bit ashamed. When I decided to come back to BookTube, I ended up doing a couple of cheap book orders and got a bunch of stuff that have just been sitting there waiting for me. But every time I try and get rid of them, I'm all like, but it sounds interesting. So here we are. I'm gonna go with Whistle in the Dark by Emma Healy. And I have no clue what this is about. I'm assuming it's some kind of suspense thriller situation, but I could be totally wrong. I have not read the synopsis in years. Let's see. Uh-oh. Sounds a little scary. I don't know. It's a new novel about mothers and daughters in the modern age. Oh no. Jenna and Hugh Maddox have just survived every parent's worst nightmare. Okay. Relieved but still terrified, they sit by the hospital beside their 15-year-old daughter. Okay, so there is some sort of mystery going on here. So their daughter was found bloody, bruised, and disoriented after going missing for 4 days. She was gone for 4 days. They were like, oh my God, where is she? She comes back and I'm assuming they have no answers. They don't know what happened. That being said, because she won't say anything about what happened, the police are like, nah, done, case closed. We don't need to worry about this. And her mom is like, excuse me, no. Like, we need to figure out what happened to my daughter, especially because her daughter is acting strangely now that she's back. Like, she's not talking about it. She's distant. She's strange. Things are weird to the point where this girl stops going to school and starts sleeping with the light on as a 16-year-old girl, which by the way is fine. Like, if you're 16 and you're still afraid of the dark, like, you do you, boo. Like, don't be ashamed. It is what it is. I am 32 years old and I have moments. That corner looks dark as hell. But yeah, it does sound pretty interesting and I am intrigued. More mystery than anything, right? So hopefully it's a good book. So it looks like we have what, 3 more rolls remaining? It's not doing too bad so far. She speaks too soon. Another double. Now that I get doubles, I just get them. Like, what? I went from months never getting a single double to 3 months in a row. You got to be kidding me. I love it. I love it. I do. I really do. But geez Louise. It's a mess. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh no, a double prompt. Okay, so in addition to us getting another roll on the board, I have to pick 2 prompts for this one. So the first prompt is a graphic novel or comic. Thank you, baby. All right. Like, we start getting all of this crazy stuff happening on the board. Unfortunately, the board threw us a bone with graphic novel or comic. Those are usually a lot easier to read. I decided I'm gonna go with one that I've technically read before. So we're gonna get a reread point for this in addition to the prompt point. This is The Adventure Zone. Here There Be Gerblins, the first in the series. This is based off of the Adventure Zone podcast graphic novel version of their first campaign, The Balance Arc, which is absolutely amazing. I have listened to it more than once and I love seeing everything come to life with these just beautiful illustrations. Super excited to read this one again and continue with the series because I've just been collecting them as they come out, waiting to binge read all of them, and hopefully now's the time. This is a story based off of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that starts off with the Lost Mines of Phandalin, I believe, one of the basic D&D campaign beginner's guides, and goes off on its own epic tangent. It's beautiful, it's fun, it's silly. I can't even express my love for this enough. And then the next one for this round is a book that's part of a series. All right. Okay, like we haven't just picked 3 books from series already. Let's just add another one to the mix. Why not? I think for this one, I'm actually going to go with the POC Book Club pick, which we will have a live show for later this month. So this is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, the first in the series. And as far as I am aware, this is about a young girl whose brothers get cursed and turned into cranes. And she is not allowed to say their names or speak or something like that, or else they die. And so she has to figure out how to save them, along with possibly other things, while not being allowed to speak about it. So I imagine this is going to be pretty intense and hopefully enjoyable. Possibly painful, but we'll see. We will see. So yeah, if you are interested in joining me on this ride, we will be doing the live show in a couple of weeks, so you have some time. And then obviously, if it's good, I will continue with the series, which I do have the second book, and I think maybe there's supposed to be more, but I don't know if anything is out or scheduled yet, so we will see. I should use one of these draw 2 keeps 1s maybe for our next roll, but we have 3 more rolls again. Hopefully my math is mathing. Okay, a 6 and a 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a good one. We also get a board point for this round, which I haven't really been showcasing, but basically I just mark a point here and then add it up for next round. Okay, then we're gonna use our draw 2 keep 1. So our 2 options are this is unfortunate. So we have either a pet picks or a book with a specific word in the title. And I think just because it's always fun, I'm gonna go with pet picks. So we'll use that for the prompt, and we'll put this on the bottom, which is a little sad because I wanted both of those prompts. Pet pick, Kiwi, thank you so much for your service. Why are you so dumb? Kiwi, over there, not over here, over there. There we go. Took you long enough. We found the winner. All right, ma'am. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you do for the YouTubes and the channel. Everybody appreciates you. Tell the people your speech. Yeah, no, the speech. Kiwi, the speech. We are grateful for you. Thank you for everything, ma'am. Jesus. She was napping, so she is not interested right now. I'm sorry, sweetie. After some sitting around hoping that eventually she would figure things out, she did pick a book, and so I will be reading Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. So basically during her high school graduation, the love of her life was accused of murdering her best friend, okay? And I believe she's all like, nah, he didn't do it, but there is not much to be done. So she ends up living a quiet life, not like she expected, basically just living the day to day, right? She's just getting by. And then eventually the love of her life, like 14 years later, comes back to the town, and she is like, it's time for me to deal with this, to figure out what happened, to confront him and the past. And the whole town is all like, nah, son, get this sucker out of here. And I guess she starts uncovering a bunch of stuff about the town and people around her and him and what happened and all of that stuff. I think there is supposed to be magical elements, but admittedly reading that, it doesn't sound like there's any magical elements into it. So I guess I'll see when I read it. So we have 2 more rolls. Okay, so a 6 and a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so we got TBR jar. Okay, time for the TBR jar. So let's see what we get. There's a mixture of options in here. And since I choose at random, I usually get bonus points for completing these. So let's see, what do we have? Don't know if you can see that, but it says The Bone Witch with a +2. So another series, we've got The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco. I am super, super excited about this. If you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of witchy reads, and this is supposed to be very witchy. We do have a witch named T, who is not like the other witches in her family because she has a gift for necromancy, which makes her really, really strong. Obviously, being powerful does come at a price, so she is kind of forced into exiled and needs to like leave her family behind. And she decides that she's going to take advantage of this and focus on herself so she can become a powerful Asha, which I guess means that she can control her necromantic elemental power along with certain beasts, so she can control beasts as well. Interesting. But as we see with most stories like this, it can't be that easy because a big epic war is brewing and all of the ones that she loves are in danger. So she must step up and save the day. Sounds exciting. Also, this is the first book in a trilogy, so maybe I might read more from it. I don't know, we'll see. Possibly our last roll. A 5 and a 2. Okay, I think I'm gonna use, do I want to re-roll? Actually, let's see, where would this get me? Okay, maybe so we have the chance of getting another double. Let's re-roll. A 3 and a 5. Oh, that's not the kind of double that I wanted, but oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did this to myself, no complaining. We have to draw 2 prompts for this last one. So first one is a book by a new author. Ha! Another new author situation. So for this one, I think I am going to go with Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This has been all over, I guess, Book Talk or whatever, which admittedly I'm not actually on, so like I haven't really been seeing the hype, but it has bled into BookTube, and I have seen both glowing reviews and some scathing reviews. So I thought it would be fun to do a dedicated hype video and see which side of the spectrum I fall on. So hopefully it's gonna be a fun time. As far as I'm aware, this is a epic romance fantasy story about a girl who gets pulled into a war college that she doesn't want to be a part of due to her mother being all like, hey, all of us are dragon riders and you must try and be one too, even though it's super deadly. She has never practiced for it, and going through everything, there's no guarantee that you'll actually become a dragon rider. And so in the process of her trying to achieve this goal she doesn't actually want, she ends up experiencing a lot of tough things, has to work around stuff. I believe there is some disability rep in here, which I'm really excited to see. There's a lot of cheesiness, a lot of death, and then there are also dragon elements within it. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that no matter what side I fall on, that it's gonna be a fun time regardless. Also, sprayed edges for just the general first edition, count me in. Can we do this more often? Like, I'm obsessed with sprayed edges, and anytime I can get a relatively affordable special edition type book, I am here for it. I don't think these are available anymore, but for the pre-orders, they had the special editions, and that's technically the reason why I have it. And our last prompt is a wild card, whatever you want to read. And the last prompt is a wild card, so technically I can do whatever I want throughout the month, but for now I'm thinking I'm probably going to use it for The Outsider by Stephen King, because I'm also doing this for my Buzzwordathon challenge, so I'm gonna read this month, or something that also fits the prompt. We'll see, because this is a chunky, it's a big boy, and I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I've heard mixed reviews about this. Apparently there's an unspeakable crime and an abundance of evidence, but the investigation is confounding. Okay, so they say it's one of his most unsettling and compulsively readable stories. We will see. Oh God. So apparently the unspeakable crime happens to be child related, so warning, kid found dead, terrible things happened to him, and a ton of evidence and eyewitnesses point to someone important and popular in the town. He is the Little League coach, and everything makes it seem like he is the one behind this murder. But even though everything points to him, he has a ironclad alibi. So things aren't quite adding up. How can both of these things be true? And so our detective has to look in and uncover what is actually going on. It does sound interesting. It is right up my alley. I was a little bit nervous, and I guess technically I still am, but I love crime sort of things and detective and mystery and all of that. It is really thick though. So I'm nervous that I'm gonna have a lot of those like, okay, can we get on with it moment? But I don't know, who knows? Feel like I can use It's Worth More When Completed for Fourth Wing and Thriller for The Outsider, because I know it's like mystery detective, but I think it's gonna be thrilling and suspenseful. We'll see. Which means I will just have to find something for a different country if I want to get the points for this one. And then I also plan on finishing up the books that I didn't complete from the last month's game. So I've got a pretty extensive to be read list for the month. I don't know. I don't know. Hooray for me. Let's, all the well wishes, all the good hopes, hopefully I can somehow make this happen. All right, and that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you want to watch more from the series, check it out here. I will have links to all of the books down below. And if you made it this far, include a cloud, dragon if they have it, or bat if they don't, emoji in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next one. Until next time, bye. Man, my TBR is extensive this month. We got this, we got this.